everybody, I'm back to do another cup decoration video. This is a request that I haven't got round to for a few weeks for various different reasons. So I'm just going to do it with you now on camera, at least start it. I apologise now for the light, and you can see my shadow. It is a November afternoon. I do have all the curtains open, but I've had to put an overhead light on as well, because without it, it's very, very dark. But therefore it's creating some shadows, but we'll just go with it and do what we can do. So this cup has been sanded and cleaned and is on my cup turner, so I will just turn that on. And over here I have 3 colours of paint, white, grey and black, mixed with Mod Podge. And I'm just doing a simple marble cup. Ooh, and I can keep seeing me, I can't work out where's the best place to stand, maybe over here. I'm just going to throw the colours on and then leave the cup turner to do its thing and let the paints all marble. The black does look a bit like a dark grey because of the Mod Podge. It is actually black. When it dries it will be black. I like to start adding the darker colour first because I then want to bring in the lighter colours and not be feeling like, oh dear, it's really dark now that I've added this darker colour on last. So I'm just going to spread this. You could do this, you could pour this, although mine is a bit thick to pour. I quite like my paints to be thick when I'm doing this, because I don't actually want to pour it off the cup. I want it to stay on the cup. When I've got all the colours on, if you've seen my other videos, you'll see that I use my finger or a stick or whatever to kind of blend all the colours together, which also kind of helps them to start mixing a bit as we go. We've got enough on there. I think we'll leave that for now. There's not a huge amount of that left. I'll move on to the grey, which is a nice light grey. And I know the base of the cup is white, so in theory you could leave it, but obviously I want the paint to be able to blend. And if I didn't have the white paint, you wouldn't be able to blend it with some white without leaving the base showing. And I like to completely cover that. These make really great gifts, especially, dare I say it, as we run up to Christmas, birthdays, when you don't know what, especially when you don't know what to buy people, not just when you don't know what to buy people, but because these insulated cups can do hot drinks, cold drinks. They are great for going out the house with, but you can also use them in your house. There's no requirement that you only use them when you go out. I also decorate traditional mugs and wine glasses. So there are loads and loads of options for these. You can do so many different types of designs. I'm trying to remember what I've got on my channel. I love kind of beach themed, or I've done sunset themes. I haven't yet done kind of a foresty theme, which is one I definitely want to try. But yeah, if you look on YouTube, there are tons and tons of different themes of cups. I've seen, autumnal ones, Halloween ones, obviously lots of Christmas ones. I'd like to get round to doing a gingerbread themed one for myself if I can before Christmas, but we'll have to wait and see if time allows. I'm just trying to make sure I've got enough paint on now that when I start to spread it round, that there will actually be enough paint to cover everything. Obviously you then can add some more afterwards. It's not a be all and end all. I'm going to use the black sticks. I have least black left. But you know what I've just not done, as I've been talking away to the camera, is that I've not put enough paint down this bottom rim. So let me just do that first. I can always come back to that later, but you know, while I'm here, I'll leave that for now, see if that, it may not be watery enough to turn. I'm going to be really lazy and use my finger. This is only paint and glue. If you're using resin at this stage, obviously you need to wear gloves or anything more kind of toxic. And you may prefer to wear gloves now anyway, just to avoid the mess. But I'm on a bit of a deadline. I need to get this done because it will need 2 or 3 coats of resin when it's dried for several days. So yeah, I'm just going to plop on and get it done. And just wait as it turns round. I'm just trying to spread the paint into an even layer. It probably was even a little bit thick to what I normally use, but it doesn't mean it won't work. What I might come back and do is, I'm going to go under around the bottom here, is I may just wipe it off on my paper, come back, if I can find my water spray, and spray it a bit with water so that it's more inclined to swirl the colours a bit more. I may even mix up a bit more white. That might just be me. Probably don't need to. I like white. It's really boring, isn't it, to say I like the colour white and how it blends in with other colours, to make interesting textures and effects. I can't remember how far up my sanding came. I don't think it's gone any further than that. Right, let me see. I don't think I've got my water up here. I'll be back momentarily when I find my water spray. Right, I found a substitute water bottle. Of course I can't find my normal one. It'll turn up tomorrow when I've done this. It literally is just water. I don't know if you can see this from that angle. I'm just giving it all a bit of a spritz as it turns. Just because it will help the paint to be a bit more fluid and spread a little bit more. As you can see, can you see? I think you can see there's some more drips underneath onto the paper. Obviously it's not going to I'm trying to think how to phrase this. That sounded wrong. I don't know if it's going to, it's not going to wet right through to the bottom layer of paint, if that makes any sense, but it is going to hopefully help the top paint on the top turn and spread a little bit more. And I'm always nervous here because I'm one of those people who tends to do too much and then regrets it. So what I'm going to do now is get my cup turner to turn in the opposite direction. Let's get the paint moving a bit differently. She says, as it has a little wobble. And then maybe give it 10 minutes, and she says as she sprays a bit more on, come back and think it should be good. Oh, yeah, you can see it all starting to twirl now. I think I'll just make sure I've added all the bits of colours that are left in the bottom. She says as it doesn't come off the stick. Put a bit of water in there. Add in the kind of dregs that are left, because otherwise they go in the bin. What's the point in that? Come on, there we go, a bit of black down there, because obviously where it's marbled in, some of the definition has gone, especially the black bits, which is not the end of the world. I'm just come off the stick. Now I've gone round to a heavy black bit again. Up here. So as you can see, some of it just runs straight off, which is fine. Let's put this bit on first. Oh, there's not much left of the grey, so I've done pretty well at using up all the paint. Actually, I'm normally really good. I normally really have loads of colour left, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do with all of this. And in fact, I have a load of half finished key rings I've made with my excess paint paint that just need to be coated with resin, and they could go in my shop, but obviously that would be far too easy. I haven't got around to it yet. Last bits of white. Swirl it all in there. I don't want it. It's gone a bit dark now, hasn't it? Sometimes you just have to trust the process, because they usually end up beautiful, even if they end up different to how they were when you left them or what you had in your head. They usually always turn out really nice. I'm just not good at leaving things alone. And I've got a nice squeak on my cup turner, which is a good job. This is in a room that is not currently being used very much, and will not be, the cup turner will not be on when the room is being used. That's what I want to say. So if you're interested, this cup is going to be for a male teacher, and having been given the colours, it's hard, isn't it, because I think some, not just men, but some people like bright colours and some really don't. So I guess monochrome is always the safest option if you're not sure. But yes, I will leave that, and I'll be back if there's anything to show you that is different, or when I'm ready to move on to the next step. Right, we are back. It has actually been a couple of weeks since this paint was done, because I got distracted, forgot about it, etc. Again, I'm so sorry that the lighting is terrible. Again, a November afternoon. I don't know if I might be better if I kneel down. I might cause less shadow as I move around. So I have actually just wiped this down in order to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to start my cup turner. I have mixed 20 mils of epoxy resin here. This is a 50-50 resin. You've seen me do this before on other videos, but I'm doing it again. I'm just going to pour it on and use my gloved hand to spread it around. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time you do this. You're just getting the resin onto the cup, not forgetting your bottom, and then we can spread it around from there to make sure everything is covered. So I'm just going to move my fingers up and down to start off with, you can sort of generally feel like I can feel there was no resin there. And now I'm going to do the opposite thing, because we're trying to make sure everything's got a nice even thin coating. This will have at least 2 coats. Usually I try, unless it's got glitter, which this hasn't, I try and stick with 2 coats, partly because of the time, the curing time and the faff, and partly because it, you know, hopefully it doesn't need it if I manage to cover well enough with 2 coats, then we shouldn't need any extras. Sometimes I have to do a 3rd because I've not been very diligent when I've been covering it. Generally I'm okay. Sometimes I can get away with a bit of a spot filler on a patch. It depends. Try not to, because again that can sometimes be more hassle than it's worth. It's simply that with a 24-hour curing time, having to do extra coats is very time consuming, and obviously I have to have somewhere I can leave my cup turner running when nobody's going to knock it, touch it, etc. Yeah, I mean, I have got some fast cure resin, but it's thicker, and I don't like using it as much. Not only does it have much more odour, even several hours after using it, but it's thicker, and so it doesn't spread as evenly, and I don't think it levels quite as well. So when I am short of time, yes, I do use it, but it's harder work and I don't like it as much. I'm just having a really close look here to see if I can see any gaps by eye. I can't at the moment. I mean, this is coat 1, so it's not the end of the world. I am going to get my cup turning the opposite way just to help potentially cover any little bits that I have missed, but I think I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of my resin glove before I touch anything else, and I have a large tub which I may not be able to get in shot without knocking. Just an ordinary, no I can't, try over here, sort of plastic tub that I'm going to put upside down over my cup while it cures, so that no dust or dirt gets into my lovely crystal clear resin. And obviously it will need a second coat, and I will be back with an update soon. Hello, I am back. Please forgive my croaky voice. It's been a week or so since I last filmed about this, and my 4-year-old has kindly shared her germs with me, but I realised we're in the last week of November and I needed to get a load of stuff done this week, and this is one of the things I needed to finish, so I'm cracking on with my cracky voice. So this is all cured. It's actually had 3 coats of resin. I'm very happy with that result. So now I'm going to be doing the finishing off section. So I'm just turning it upside down so that we can add the base. Let me move you up a little bit. Well, look, there's my tablet. There we go. So obviously this cup, these tumblers that I buy, they come with the lid. They also come with a straw. But very nicely, I think, they come with this base that you can add on to the bottom of your cups. It gives it a nice flat surface to sit on, and it reminds you of some of the care instructions on the bottom. It is self-adhesive, so I am going to start by peeling that off and sticking it on. But I'm then going to secure that with some UV resin. Just trying to get that as central as I can. It's sticking to my glove. Some UV resin around the outside for extra security. So I have some UV resin here, and I have my lamp ready to go. Let me just move my wire up a little bit. It's a bit too far away. There we go. And I've got my gloved hand, and I'm just going to pop some of this resin right around this outer edge, and then use my finger to kind of smooth it down. I'm just sort of smoothing it flat around that join, and I may just a little more around this outer edge here, because this bit's going to get more wear and tear than a lot of the rest of the cup. And I'm just going to smooth that around. And I'm going to get a wipe, or you could use a piece of kitchen towel, damp, just to clean. It's a bit soapy, but never mind. I'm just wanting to clean as much of the resin as I can off that this base section before I cure it. That should be fine. I'll stick that back on there. And then I'm just going to hold my heat lamp between the camera and the cup. And I'll be back when that is cured. Right, so that has now been cured, and hopefully you can see, it's hard to tell in this light, you can see just a very thin layer of resin upon the side of the base, which just gives that added security for that tumbler base. And then you can pop the lid on top. Mine comes, like I said, with a straw, with a box, and then, let me zoom out a little bit, with a package to pop this in. So I do just put my cups in here to prevent any scratches or anything happening to them before they are received. And then we go in the box with the straw, and then are either wrapped up to package or wrapped up as gifts. So that is my most recent cup for you, and I will be back with something else soon. Bye.